Howdy, this is Ranger. Welcome to Park City, Utah. We're at Utah Olympic Park. This is home of the sliding and ski jumping events that took place at the 2002 Winter Olympics. We'll give you a tour of what there is to do here, and we'll also ride the bobsled on the Winter Bobsled Experience. Let's go. So parking here is free. There's also a museum in the Welcome Center that's also free. Give you a quick tour of that. They are open pretty much during normal business hours. At the entrance to the museum, they have a luge, a skeleton, and a bobsled, the three events that were held on the sliding hill up here. Here's an exhibit showing ski and snowboard evolution throughout the years. There's a ski jumping simulator here in the museum. It looks like it's only $3. We'll try it later if we can. So also inside the museum is the mountain sports simulator. See the prices there. You can do the bobsledding, which is a recording of the track here. You have a few other options as well. There's a theater that shows a number of short films here. The ski gear looks to be a little bit different back in 1990 than it is now, I would say. Every Olympic Games has their mascots. These were the three for the Salt Lake Games. The exhibit upstairs features several of the signature moments that took place during the Winter Olympics here. Also up here is a visual summary of all the different sports, the events that took place here. The skeleton competition was a nice story here at the Sliding Center. The event returned to the Olympics after a 54-year absence, and Americans won both golds in men's and women's as well as a silver. And then here you can see what the medals awarded look like. You can see that they're engraved with the event that they were awarded in. Well, you may not know this, but traditionally everyone who participates in the Olympics gets a participation medal. So here's what some of the ones in the past have looked like. And then at the top is the one that they gave away here in Salt Lake. We were lucky enough to do the Winter Bobsled Experience on the sliding track. You can also ride this in the summertime, where they take the runners off and replace them with wheels, but I don't consider that the real thing. So after a quick debriefing, they drive you up here to what is the end of the track. The sleds come off the track and then are loaded onto these trucks where they take the riders and the sleds up to the starting line. This program is actually led by a guy who commentates sliding events at the Olympics for NBC. I don't want to totally dox him on the internet, but you can tell he's passionate about sharing this experience with normal people. He told me we will be sliding down the track at the junior start, but they had been using the men's start for these tourist sleds up until 2018. These would pull as much as 5 Gs, so it proved just to be too much for some people. Now the ride only pulls 3 to 4 Gs with a top speed of around 65 miles per hour. But this video is actual footage of our run. Right now they're doing a pilot program where they're recording the runs, but who knows if they'll do that permanently. You are also free to bring your own GoPro and mount it directly on the sled. The sleds are very tight, and getting in is quite the process and takes quite a bit of finagling. This transitions perfectly into my favorite Winter Olympics joke of all time. What do the bobsled athletes do in the summertime when they need to practice fitting in small spaces like this? By flying on Spirit Airlines, naturally. Now for the actual ride, it was much smoother than I was expecting. They told us since we went early in the day, the ice was faster and smoother than usual. The turns were graceful, yet predictable and very powerful. The thrill was being so close to the ice and seeing the tight clearances in the track. Almost the entire thing is covered. I have ridden most of the world's highest ranked roller coasters, and the intensity of this bobsled falls short of those rides, but it's wildly unique and takes place in a historic setting. The cost is $225 as of filming per person, so it's not for everyone, but that is all inclusive, And this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that I would recommend if you can afford it. The results are back in, and we have our gold medalist from the training runs right here. So after the experience, they will let you walk down the track, see it from a number of different angles. This is the scoreboard where you can see a layout of the track. This is obviously where they post the times for the competitors when they have actual races. So this is turn 12. This is towards the end of the track. You can stand here and watch the slides come down. But yeah, it takes about 1 second for it to traverse this whole length that we're showing you here. We're toward the bottom of the track here. This was our ending here where the finish line is. So looking back up the hill, we believe this is the women's start there, and then the men's start is up at the top. And so looking down, the track actually goes pretty far down the hill before it takes a turn and then goes back up to the finish line, which again is right there. These are the competitive ski jumping hills. In a sports update from 22 plus years ago, it was Simon Ammann of Switzerland taking gold in both the normal and the large hill. He would go on to take double gold again in Vancouver 8 years later. You can take a tour where they take you up to the top of these hills and you can see down them. We don't have time to do that today, but I would say it's worth the price. I have done it before. For the athletes training for the aerials and freestyle skiing competition, during the summertime, they can use this ramp, which drops off into a pool. This is a view of the sliding track from the parking lot at Olympic Park. They've also got a competition moguls run and some alpine training runs. There's one right here at the parking lot. This is a map showing all the activities that they have here. Obviously, the chairlifts are not accessible to the public for the winter-related activities, but there is quite a bit to do here in the summertime. They have an alpine sled, and there's plenty of hiking trails as well. There is a ropes course and some additional summertime activities here as well. This is what the ropes course looks like. Oh, finishing up here. I would recommend this place for anyone who's coming to the area. There's stuff that's free, and then you can spend up to over $200 to do the bobsled experience. But we spent about 3 hours here, and there's plenty of cool things to see that you can't see anywhere else hardly.